Tyago? Is it possible even in Kali Yuga to have the majority of people spiritualized, like in the upcoming years after the huge changes?
Well, maybe after these changes, you know. First, they're going to have to stop believing in materialism. Right now, the biggest obstacle to preaching is the fact that people believe that science is going to come up with a real improvement in our lives. They've been conditioned to this propaganda. They've been fed this propaganda. And there's enough temporary benefit in using technology that people are hoodwinked into believing it, into accepting it. In reality, what's taking place is, like I said, within 250 years, we have burned up all available fossil fuels on the planet. And most of the wood and other natural products, metals, like that. There's no high-grade iron ore left. There's no high-grade aluminum ore left. And so many other natural products, because they've all been mined out of the earth. And instead, we're using now second-class, third-class level of metal ores. And those ores, to extract the materials that we want out of them, is a much more energy-intensive process. So basically what we've done is, in the last 250 years, we've taken all of this easily available energy and burned it up just like that. Saying, well, we don't care, we're just going to throw energy at the process. And we don't care about the future. We just care about now. This is mismanagement, you see. This is like saying, okay, we live in a wood house, so we don't have to cut any more wood, see. We'll just use one little piece of the house in the fire each night. Well, how long is the house going to last before there's no house left? To where it's all burned up. And that's what's happening. We're exhausting our natural resources. These are things that took millions of years to create and will take millions of years to replace. And we're using them up in a scant 250 years. What happens when they're gone? It means all the energy goes away. So the impressive tricks that science has presented to the world are actually simply artifacts of this energy-intensive process that can only be done one time in history. And when it's over, it's going to be over for a long, long time. Okay? This is what they have done. See? It's immensely short-sighted, immensely stupid. I mean, really impressively stupid thing that they have done. They have, in a very short time, just burned up all this energy. And now it's running out. And so are all the raw materials running out. Yeah, there's plenty of iron ore in the ocean. But to extract it from salt water, I mean, you would need you'd need fusion reactors. And guess what? Nobody's figured out how to make that work. So we're at the end of the line, kiddies. This is it. Peak oil. The world passed peak oil production in 1995, and it's been going down ever since. And oh, by the way, did you notice they pulled the troops out of the cities of Iraq the same week that the oil deal was signed with the Iraqi government? I love this. I mean, it's so transparent. Of course, you're not going to read about that on the news, unless you read the news that I read. People who tell the truth. But this whole play, it's a facade. It's a charade. It's all very temporary, very superficial thing. You know, we're going to burn up all this energy, and you can have all this energy, whatever you want, sit in your home in Canada and burn all this gas and keep it nice and warm, and you don't have to do anything. Just turn up the thermostat. And that's very nice. It's 40 below outside, but inside it's nice and toasty because you can burn all this energy But guess what? That energy isn't going to last more than another 20, 30 years. And it's going to become increasingly more and more expensive also between now and then. Actually, the planet is rebelling. You're going to see the oceans pretty soon are going to die. They're going to have an anoxic event. That's the technical term for when the air-breathing organisms in the ocean can't get enough oxygen anymore, and they're going to start going into an anoxic or what's that called? Anaerobic, thank you. Metabolism. Anaerobic ecology. And this is going to be very bad. It's going to poison the water, poison the air around the oceans. A lot of people are going to have to move because they're too close to these areas of the ocean that are dying. Like the Gulf of Mexico right now is in serious trouble. You know. Anyway, there's going to be ecological crisis all over the world. You know, because of misuse of the resources. And all of this has been done in such a short time. And everybody thinks, oh, it's so impressive. We have jet planes. Wow, great. We have cars. Oh, isn't that wonderful? All these beautiful roads that go up and like this, these big overpasses and all this stuff. But what we've done to get those is to use up thousands of years of fossil fuels in just a few years, just a few decades. And the demand is only increasing. It's like people say, well, we'll just use as much energy as you give us. You give us infinite energy, we'll use it all. You know? But the fact is, there's a definite limit of the amount of energy that is sustainable. Gee, we keep coming back to that theme tonight, don't we? The amount of energy that you can use, the amount of energy that you can apply to any particular process and sustain indefinitely, you see, that is the key. That is the key to not destroying your environment, to not destroying the support that you require to exist. So what we've done is, instead of finding a sustainable level and maintaining that indefinitely, we have gone on this huge passionate outburst of energy for 200 years, and now it's over. And the next few years, you're going to see that energy supplies become drastically curtailed. Raw materials prices are going to just go up out of sight. And then there's going to be the ecological crisis. And that's like all bets are off. Nobody knows where that's going to go or how that's going to work out, because it's never happened before. So we don't know. Anyway, it's a mess, and we're right in the middle of it. And in the future, people will look back on this and say, how could they have been so stupid? And all this has just come out, you know, in the last few years. All this research, all this understanding, all this perspective. It's like we had to get to here. We had to get to where it's so bad that the whole population of the planet is in danger, before we realize, oh, maybe we better cut back on carbon emissions a little bit. Duh. Schumacher figured it out back in the 60s, 70s? Yeah. He figured it out. Wait a minute. Raw materials, natural materials, are a different quality of goods than manufactured goods. Up until then, everybody had been thinking of them in exactly the same way. You drill a hole, you get some oil, you sell it. Somebody else buys your oil, turns it into plastic, and sells it. Somebody else molds the plastic into a product and sells it. And they were thinking of all those three things in exactly the same way. But they're not, because the oil, the thing that the whole process depends on, is a non-renewable resource. You can always renew labor, but you cannot renew the basic resources: earth, air, water, oil, things like that. You have to use them in a renewable way or a sustainable way. And if you don't, well, you're just sawing off the limb that you're sitting on. And that's what we've done. Very stupid. Anyway, I forget how I got on that subject. But are there more questions?
Just one last one about...
One last question.
Just a quick one. Teo is asking if it's possible for someone to create a post with the news sites that you read.
Oh my God. My secret news sites. I've been talking about them on and off in different posts on different subjects